North Korea took some time away from not feeding its own people and torturing government critics to threaten the United States with nuclear war. According to North Korean state media, a foreign ministry spokesman today said Kim the Younger's regime will, quote, exercise its right, unquote, to carry out a preemptive nuclear strike on Washington, D.C., which he called the headquarters of the enemy. The new rhetoric came just hours before the United Nations Security Council voted to hit North Korea with new economic punishments. This is the Security Council's fourth round of pressure on Pyongyang, and it's a direct response to North Korea's recent underground nuclear test. Of course, we've heard threats for years and years and decades before from the North Koreans, and the experts say North Korea still doesn't have a device that's small enough to fit on a ballistic missile that's capable of hitting the United States. The Fox Report's chief correspondent Jonathan Hunt has the news from the United Nations this afternoon. How seriously are U.S. officials taking this threat?
Well, seriously, Shep, in the sense that they do not like being threatened by anyone, least of all an unpredictable, dictatorial man like Kim Jong-un armed with nuclear weapons. But at the same time, U.S. officials appear confident that North Korea is in no position to carry out its threats. Listen.
The United States is fully capable of defending against a DPRK ballistic missile attack. Furthermore, we are continuing to upgrade our ballistic missile defense capabilities. We remain firmly committed to the defense of the Republic of Korea and Japan and the maintenance of regional peace and security.
Now, despite the long-range missile launch that North Korea carried out back in December, most experts say they are at least 2 years, probably more like 5 years, before they can put a nuclear warhead on any missile that could possibly reach and strike Hawaii, for instance, or Alaska, or the U.S. lower 48.
Jonathan, does anybody anywhere think these sanctions might make a difference?
Well, certainly the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Susan Rice, thinks that these are some of the most sweeping sort of punishments ever leveled by the Security Council. Listen.
Taken together, these sanctions will bite, and bite hard. They increase North Korea's isolation and raise the cost to North Korea's leaders of defying the international community.
Now, the key here is China. The Chinese have signed on to this resolution. That is very important. But there is a big difference to signing on to the wording of a resolution and actually carrying out the actions required by that resolution. The Chinese ambassador to the UN did speak earlier, and so far he appears to be talking the talk about walking the walk. But that remains to be seen, and it is something U.S. officials will be watching very closely, Shep.
Jonathan, thanks. Probably one of the best versed humans on North Korea in the United States is with us now. The former New Mexico governor and U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Bill Richardson, is here. He has visited North Korea several times and seems to have a decent idea of what's happening. What's happening?
Well, what is significant about these sanctions is that China not just has signed on, but my understanding is they helped draft this. China is very upset with the last long-range missile of the North Korea.